Americans love college sports, and oil and gas companies like them too. A CBS News data analysis found fossil fuel ads that aired during live sports games between 2022 and 2024 targeted college sports fans rather than pro sports fans. Critics say some of the messages in those ads leave the impression that oil and gas companies are part of the solution to climate change. CBS News national environmental correspondent David Schechter tells us more.
They're so young. I know, right? And like anything could happen.
We watched a University of Texas game with Duncan Mizell. Can you tell who he roots for?
Who doesn't love talking about your favorite team?
Mizell is a climate activist and a leading voice against advertising by fossil fuel companies, including ads during televised games that talk about supporting communities and the environment without ever acknowledging the industry's role in climate change.
The problem is they're selling a product that they know harms people, that they know harms the planet.
And when it comes to sports on TV, CBS News found these companies advertise almost exclusively during national college games, only 4% in pro.
Adhere to the Valero Alamo Bowl.
The oil company Valero consistently advertises during college bowl games.
At Valero, we're recycling used cooking oil to make renewable diesel.
Are they a French fry company? Are they a biodiesel company? It's actually probably less than 3% a year of what they actually produce.
Valero has not responded to our request for a comment. It's an effective business strategy, says Peter Carton, who directs the sports management program at Southern Methodist University.
Why is sports such a good place to advertise? College sports.
It's a middle to upper income demographic. They're trying to associate their brand in a positive way with that particular community.
And because buying ads in college games costs less than in pro, he says it can be an efficient way to recruit employees.
It makes sense to reach that demographic, particularly on the younger end if we're talking about talent.
The motive is less straightforward to climate activist Duncan Mizell, whose nonprofit convinced more than 1,300 ad firms to cut ties with fossil fuel companies like Energy Transfer, a pipeline company that doesn't sell a product to consumers.
We're Energy Transfer. What we do matters, and what we do takes energy.
Why would a company that literally can't sell you anything be making an ad in a large consumer setting?
I think it gets to the heart of a lot of fossil fuel advertising, which is essentially lobbying in public.
Energy Transfer provided a statement that says when it comes to TV sports audiences, it's trying to further their understanding of the importance of oil and natural gas as one of our country's primary economic drivers. It's a message fossil fuel companies hope will resonate with college sports fans.
David Schechter joins us now. David, you've been reporting on greenwashing over the last year, but how did you come to find this particular trend?
Lindsay, it started with a report from UCLA, which I think we've talked about before, about advertising by oil and gas companies inside stadiums or on top of stadiums or on the uniforms that the players wear. And then we wanted to go a little bit deeper to see how that extended onto television. So we pulled all this data about where these ads were being run, who was running them, how often they ran. And really, we were pretty surprised to find out how focused this industry is on reaching that college sports audience.
And in your story, you spoke with someone who is working to end fossil fuel contracts at ad agencies. But how could that be impactful on a larger scale?
Well, actually, on a very large scale, the Secretary General of the United Nations has called for a ban of fossil fuel ads on television globally. A lot of countries have taken some action, but really there's no ban yet on running these ads on television. But the issue that he gets at, and that Duncan Mizell in the story gets at, is that when a company greenwashes, it does a couple things. It lets the audience think that this problem has been solved, that you don't need to worry about it, when in fact we do have more extreme drought and fire and flood. And then on the other hand, when you say, hey, we're fixing this problem, and that's just a very, very small part of your business, these other companies that actually are trying to do something, their message gets diluted.
David Schechter, always good to feature your reporting on the Daily Report. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lindsay.